Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro. It's time to review The Prom. Directed by Ryan Murphy, starring Meryl Streep, James Corden, Nicole Kidman. We got an all-star cast here, folks. This is about a group of narcissistic Broadway people who go try to save a gay girl from not having her prom in Bigot Town, Indiana.
This is definitely a movie that some people will be completely won over by in like the first second because it leans in so much to being a Broadway play brought to your living room. If you don't like that for whatever reason, you might be miserable throughout this movie. And there are other people who are going to be extremely excited that this movie exists, and they're going to want like more. They're going to be like, give me every musical like this. Honestly, like for what it's doing, it was well made. The camera work, the lighting was great, excessively glitzy, and constantly like trying to entertain you and being enjoyable. It succeeds in doing that. I don't even know if its critics would disagree with that.
Matthew Libatique actually shot this movie, which I was shocked by. But I guess after like Birds of Prey and Star is Born, he's kind of seen as like the go-to for like colorful movies, which is kind of interesting. Like, yeah, they just kind of just put colors everywhere, but there was also like a lot of motion in the camera work, and every single like beat of this movie is emphasized to the max. Like they'll push in on people who have something to say that's loud. The actors are like being, theater level expressive. The movie commits so hard to being like this bombastic Broadway production that I think it actually kind of works more than I thought it was going to. The songs are fucking booming. It's all like at -1 like the entire time.
I like this movie more than I thought I was going to. I thought, maybe I'm more on the side of like the skeptic, cynical critic, but I found out quickly into the film that I was not really on that side and that I am easily won over. This movie had a lot of like tear-jerky moments. It does reflect on actual experiences of being gay in this country. If you have like empathy for that, which I assume like most people do, then like those moments are gonna be hard to resist. Like I think it's a little hard not to feel emotional. There was one scene where they seemed to bring in like other teenagers, and they kind of reflect on this idea that like all these people are going through this thing together. And I really enjoyed that. Like I was very like happy during this movie. It had a lot of endorphins like going through my brain, just being like, yay, like this is great.
I think sometimes the amount of emotional like tear-jerky scenes, I wasn't like quite on board with that because the movie is a little like over the top. It doesn't come across as like the most genuine thing. It is hard not to rejoice in the acceptance. Of course, we're gonna feel good like celebrating, gay people and coming out stories and like the bigots turning into like allies. Like, of course that's gonna be feel good, but sometimes, yeah, it can come across like a little like plastic.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we just need a little like gay pride, and it makes us feel good, and
yeah, sure.
And we can be happy that like we are at a point that's different from 10 years ago, and so the movie, I think the movie's allowed to celebrate that, even though I'm sure the Ben Shapiros of the world will be very upset by the fact that this movie exists. Is this a straight savior movie? Yes.
A couple of the saviors are gay.
It's funny because it's a movie that pokes fun at the idea that there are like these coastal liberals who are coming from their bubble and expect to be able to transform a town that has very different beliefs from theirs. And that's like, honestly, like that's a good representation of like how some people think and how that comes across.
That actually saved it a little bit because I thought from the trailer this was just going to be like, we're going to go help this girl from the kindness of our hearts because we're the good liberals. And the characters, of course, turn out to be doing it because they're self-indulged.
Because all the journalism that will be published about them will be very positive. But at the same time, because it is a good cause, there is not really any repercussion for that kind of belief. Like ultimately in the end, they did make it possible for this prom to succeed and for this girl to be happy. You could imagine a movie that's about a gay prom where the heroes of the story are like a club at school, or even just like that person herself, more so than the people who are intervening. When you think about it that way, it does make sense.
My thing is sort of that the weight given to Meryl Streep's character over Joellen Pellman, I don't think that was the best approach, because Meryl Streep's character is just flat out unlikable. The movie knows it. but she's fun to watch because she's Meryl Streep.
She's also likable in a way.
Yeah, but how much do I like actually care about her? And it gives too many like artificial conflicts to Meryl Streep that I don't really care about, because I care more about like Jo Ellen Pellman, who's the one going through this. She obviously has the conflict of like her talent doesn't accept her and stuff, but it seemed more focused on Meryl Streep. And I didn't know much about Jo Ellen Pellman's character other than the fact that she wants her girlfriend to go to prom. Like, that character was like really basically fleshed out.
Yeah, and she doesn't have any like real issues. Like, she's just, I just want to go to prom. And so she's very easy to like. And maybe that's by design, right? Maybe you're trying to get people on your side so they can empathize with this character as much as possible. I mean, at one point, I guess she felt like negative emotions, but it was also partly the performance. Like, to be honest, I thought the performance was too happy, even when there was like negative things going on.
But
whereas in contrast, I thought her girlfriend actually did like a little bit better of a job, more down to earth, and who, when she was sad, like wasn't smiling.
I think that there's not a whole lot here to build a 2-hour, 10-minute movie on. There are like a string of like 5 songs that don't seem to have any like momentum between them. They're just kind of happening here and there and here. And I think that's because the movie hasn't really committed to like a particular struggle of any character. The arcs were pretty weak, I think. Jo Ellen Pellman's arc, if she had much of one, was just kind of like obvious. And then Meryl Streep was just becoming like less of a narcissist.
James Corden's character, he's not terrible in the movie. Like, he does do a good job at like bringing the heart in some scenes, but ultimately, I feel that he was kind of a wrong choice. Like, I really enjoyed Meryl Streep. I thought she did a great job. You almost can't imagine someone doing a better job.
Yeah.
James Corden, on the other hand, I feel like I wish they pulled in somebody else. You can tell he just likes performing, but it's kind of like he's being James Corden in a way. I almost wish they pulled in like a Broadway actor who was actually gay, because it could have made the scenes where he's reflecting on like his childhood that much more impactful, because they are very emotionally deep scenes. To see somebody on the screen who we know in real life is gay could have made a little bit bigger of an impact.
There's evidence of that when you look at like movies like Boys in the Band or Happiest Season, when you really do cast people who are actually gay in these roles. Like, it does make a difference. And my rule wouldn't necessarily be that you can't have straight people playing gay characters, but like, if you're gonna have a gay character who's like really flamboyant, I think you should cast a gay person. I think that that's what we should consider.
I agree with that. I don't think it needs to be all the time. Like, Timothée Chalamet's performance, we can treasure that and call him by her name because he was so open.
Meryl Streep's very good in this. Like, you can never come out of a Meryl Streep performance and say that she underwhelmed. She always exceeds expectations, and she will definitely get a Golden Globe nomination, that's for sure. She's gonna win if Carey Mulligan can't.
I mean, that would probably be sad because she has so many Golden Globes already.
Yeah, I would like Carey Mulligan to win it,
but she was very good. Like, it wouldn't be undeserved necessarily.
Be shocked if James Corden got nominated. And Nicole Kidman, some people think she can get nominated in supporting just of the Golden Globes, and she doesn't do that much here. She has, the Zaz song, of course.
But it would be weird if that happened. Like, it would not be deserved.
And I was predicting Jo Ellen Pellman in our last video, but I have to say I don't think that's going to happen, because it just doesn't feel like they're going to like go to nominate that alongside Meryl Streep.
The movie could definitely win the Comedy Musical Award, I think. It is so crowd-pleasing.
The Globes have an opportunity to really take advantage of the category and like give it to musicals.
Yeah, I think they're gonna go for The Prom.
Now, could it be an Oscars player? I feel like no. Hairspray didn't really get in. We don't really see them give it to happy musicals anymore, right? Like, if they give it to a musical, it's like La La Land or Les Mis, and those are just kind of somber, sad musicals. I don't think Meryl Streep's gonna get an Oscar nomination. Could it maybe get costumes or production design? Probably not. It's modern though, that's the problem.
I could see a lot of people really enjoying this movie, and I hope they get a great experience out of it. And to other people, like, you kind of know if you're not really gonna like it, if it's not for you. So it's not really a hard decision to make. But if you're kind of on the fence, like maybe you'd like it, you might actually enjoy the movie. You might have a good time.
Just embrace it.
I enjoyed it a consistent amount, and it gave me lots of endorphins. And I actually do believe the movie could be inspirational to people. It could make them feel like accepted. So I would give this movie an 8 out of 10.
Whoa, you're going with an 8?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. I don't know what to tell you.
We stopped giving halves, but I'm giving this a 6.5 out of 10.
It made you happy.
Yeah, I just became like a little detached in the second half because it was like, all right, like I get it, like I know.
You
Slightly
succumbed
attached.
to your cynicism.
No, I just thought it was like kind of funny at a point where I was like, this movie's like kind of funny. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
What gender will you take to the prom?